Are you Matthew Aldridge?
I'm the attorney of fact for Matthew Aldridge.
You were what?
The attorney of fact.
Attorney what?
Of fact.
Attorney of fact. And what does that mean?
You know, his authorization to do legal representation.
Are you a licensed attorney?
No, I'm simply an attorney of fact.
Okay. And does that mean you have a power of attorney? What is your name? What is your name?
Alright guys, today's court hearing is absolutely wild. We've got a man named Matthew Aldridge, at least, that's what the court papers say, but the guy standing at the podium is trying to pull the classic I don't have a name act. He's calling himself the attorney of fact, which, by the way, isn't even a real legal term. These so-called sovereign citizen types always try to argue that the court has no authority over them, but here's the reality. Courts have jurisdiction over anyone within their area, period. Of course, the judge isn't buying it for even a second. She stays calm, collected, and absolutely dismantles his ridiculous argument. And the best part? The ending, where she completely outsmarts him in the most epic way possible. This one's definitely worth watching, so let's go ahead.
My name?
Yes, sir.
I don't have.
You don't have a name? Pardon?
Man, I'm the attorney of fact for the respondent mayor.
Well, let me explain to you. Only an attorney at law can stand in court and represent a criminal defendant. And to do so otherwise violates the criminal law statutes of the state of Tennessee and could land someone who attempts to represent themselves as an attorney at law in serious trouble. I understand what you're saying. I understand you're saying an attorney in fact. And what I want you to understand is that if you have a power of attorney, then you need to demonstrate that power of attorney. Do you have a legal document called a power of attorney?
No, I do not this time.
Okay. Then you don't have any authority to act on behalf of Matthew Aldridge in this court. You have no legal authority, nor do you have any authority through a legal document to represent or to act on behalf of Matthew Aldridge.
Why don't the court just let me file this document?
Show it to the bailiff and he'll show it to me. Apparently there's a copy here.
It's one thing for this guy to claim he's an attorney of fact, but the way he tries to back it up is just ridiculous. He literally hands the judge a piece of paper that supposedly proves his right to represent Matthew Aldridge. You didn't get to see it because that part moved pretty slowly, but the document basically quoted a made-up law that doesn't exist. For anyone wondering, real attorneys are licensed by the state and must follow strict legal procedures. None of this DIY one-page, make-believe legal fantasy stuff. Sovereign citizens like this guy love to argue about jurisdiction, as if declaring themselves above the law somehow works. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. Courts operate on well-established, real laws, not imaginary ones. The judge isn't about to waste time entertaining this nonsense. Honestly, I can't tell if this whole sovereign citizen trend is actually becoming more popular, or if I'm just unlucky enough to keep running into these bizarre cases. Let me know what you think in the comments.
All right. Well, I find that Matthew Neal Aldridge has failed to appear personally in this court for the plea day on his case, which is set for trial tomorrow. And as a result, you have no standing, sir, under what I know what you're trying to do is to try to use the sovereign citizen approach to this situation. And I'm simply telling you that you do not have the right to represent Matthew Neal Aldridge. If you are in fact Matthew Neal Aldridge, then you need to say so and stop this nonsense, because what you're attempting to do has no legal effect. You cannot challenge the criminal law or the jurisdiction of this court by simply filing some legal mumbo jumbo having to do with civil litigation. That has civil litigation in it. It is not a criminal case that you have cited. So it has no effect on this court regarding the criminal statutes of this court. This court is empowered under the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the state of Tennessee, and by the duly elected citizens of Cheatham County to empower and enforce the laws of the state of Tennessee. And that is what I'm going to do regarding Matthew Lynn Aldridge. Mr. Aldridge is set for today to appear in court personally on what we call our last plea day before his trial date tomorrow.
Is that an Article 3 trial?
To what?
Would that be an Article 3 trial? A trial by jury with jury?
It would be a trial by jury, certainly it would be. But I don't know who you are. And I don't think you have any authority if you are not Matthew Lynn Aldridge to appear before this court. And you're wasting valuable time to all of these other citizens who are here today. So when I'm talking, you stop talking. No, you will when I'm finished talking. You are wasting the court's time by doing this, and I'm just simply instructing you that if you are in fact Matthew Lynn Aldridge, then this is your last day to settle your case. The trial date is set for tomorrow, and unfortunately, it will not go forward because of the fact that I have a conflict and I have to be in Stewart County on a civil matter. So we're going to assign a new trial date for Matthew Lynn Aldridge. All right. To Matthew Aldridge and the individual standing before me whose name must not be uttered.
This judge is handling this lunatic like an absolute pro. He stays calm while shutting the guy down at every turn. The so-called attorney of fact barely even gets a chance to start his nonsense before the judge completely dismantles it, piece by piece. It almost feels like the judge has dealt with this kind of behavior plenty of times before, because he doesn't even flinch when the man starts quoting his made-up laws. What really stood out, and honestly made me laugh, was when the judge sarcastically said that the man can't utter his name. You don't usually see judges break composure like that, but it was a funny human moment. Still, it was clear from the very beginning that this judge wasn't going to waste a second of his time on this circus act. In the end, it just goes to show how ridiculous and utterly pointless these sovereign citizen stunts really are.
Then we will set a July 15th trial date for Mr. Aldridge. Whatever this document is that you have filed is in fact invalid because it does not cite any valid criminal statute, and therefore I'm denying whatever that might be in the way of a motion. The trial date will be July 15th. The last day for Mr. Aldridge to enter a plea or go to trial will be July the 8th. July the 8th. Now, we're going to give you a card. If you are in fact Matthew Aldridge and you're just playing games with the court regarding this nonsense that you filed, then you may get this card and you may go on about your business. If you are not Matthew Aldridge, then I would suggest to you, you relay to Mr. Aldridge that he must appear on July the 8th, or a bond revocation will take place, and his case will be set, will take place with him in jail, incarcerated on the 15th. That's the judgment of the court. You need to take your piece of paper and go on about your business.
Sovereign citizens are truly something else. These are people who genuinely believe they can opt out of the legal system by claiming they don't recognize the government's authority. They love to rant about things like common law or the UCC, the Uniform Commercial Code, while completely misunderstanding how any of it actually works. Just to be clear, courts operate under federal, state, and local laws that have been in place for centuries and are backed by the Constitution. There's no secret loophole that lets you decide the rules don't apply to you. Yet these folks keep clogging up courtrooms with bizarre arguments, wasting everyone's time and accomplishing nothing, except earning themselves a criminal record. Legally speaking, the entire sovereign citizen defense falls apart because of one simple concept: jurisdiction. Courts have authority over anyone within their geographic area, no matter what kind of legal nonsense you claim. Judges have seen it all before, and they don't entertain this for even a second. And for anyone wondering, trying to dodge taxes or dismiss a speeding ticket using these tactics doesn't just fail, it can actually lead to harsher penalties for wasting the court's time. Personally, I'll never understand why people keep trying this. Do they really think they're outsmarting the system, or is it just some strange form of rebellion? Either way, it's ridiculous and honestly kind of sad. They're not fighting the system, they're just making fools of themselves. Anyway, that's going to wrap up my breakdown for today. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know what you think about sovereign citizens down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.